Hi, friends. Thank you for joining me again today. Namaste. We're going to use a blanket for this practice. So, take your blanket. I always like to put the French side on the inside, and you're going to make a nice tight roll of the blanket. So, you may need to adjust this as you need it, but make the roll as tight as you can with the fringes on the inside. Then you're going to place the blanket roll down. That blanket roll is going to rest right in your upper back area, the thoracic spine. So as you lie down, you may need to come out of the pose to adjust to make sure that this is not too uncomfortable. And as you lie down, see that the shoulders can rest comfortably on the floor. And again, if this is too much of a back bend for you, feel free to come out of the pose so you can make the blanket roll a little bit thinner. And then pick up your head, place it back down so that the back of the neck is long, your neck is not jutting up to the sky. The legs can be bent or straight, whatever feels good. But see that the shoulders can really soften towards the earth. The chest is open, the heart is open. You get a nice expansion across the chest. And then just close your eyes. As you close your eyes, begin to notice your breath. Noticing your breath all the way to your heart space, allowing that entire space to open up. And see that there's no retention or forcing the breath in any way. There's no pause in the breath. That your breath is smooth. It doesn't even have to be complete inhalations or exhalation. Allow the breath to just feel really smooth all the way to the belly. You feel the belly expand with each inhalation. And then as you exhale, feel the space behind the heart where the blanket is really melt down towards the blanket. Each exhalation releases a little bit more of the tension held in the chest and upper back. Each inhalation allows you to expand, allows you to receive the breath, and the exhalations allows you to relax. And then gently begin to bend your knees, putting your feet flat on the floor. Roll over to one side and just come up high enough where you're able to slide the blanket out. And go ahead and lie down once again. Lie down on your side. And really round through the back, round through the part of the spine that was on the blanket. And this time as you breathe, really send your breath to that space where the blanket was just a few moments ago. Gently pressing yourself to a comfortable seat. Begin to bring your knees on top of another. So let's start with the knees. Sit on your left cheek and then allow the knees to stack on top of another. And you can sit on the blanket if you like to. Your right hand comes to your right foot right next to you. As you inhale, lift the left arm over your head and then draw the elbow to your rib cage. So your inhalation expands, you feel the stretch on that entire left side. Exhale, bend the elbow, draw the elbow closer to your chest, to your rib cage. Inhaling, reach the fingertips over your head. Exhaling, the elbow comes towards your rib cage. And one more time, inhale, and then this time pause there with the arms overhead, the left arm overhead. Maybe you can take your gaze down towards your right fingertips. Inhale, lifting your torso all the way back to the center. Switch your legs so you're sitting on the right cheek now. And then stacking your knees on top of another. Your left hand rests on your left side. Inhale, reach the right arm all the way over, reach overhead. And exhale, bend the elbow, drawing the elbow to your rib cage. Inhaling, expand the chest. Feel a beautiful, long expansion on that entire right side. And exhale, draw the elbow towards your chest or rib cage. And do this a couple more times with your own breath. Inhaling, expand. Exhaling, the elbow comes back down to the rib cage. And this time, as the arm reaches over your head, pause there, maybe taking your gaze towards your left fingertips. And exhale, and your inhalation is going to lift your torso all the way back up. Go ahead and remove the blanket. And you're going to sit cross-legged. So if you're comfortable with half lotus, that's fine. Otherwise, go ahead and sit in Sukhasana, bringing your left shin in front of the right shin. And I always like to sit on a blanket here, so it allows you to really ground your sitting bones down. Soften the shoulders, sit tall. Your chin is parallel to the floor, crown of the head reaching up to the sky, and your tailbone is your sitting bones are grounding onto your blanket. And just pause here for a moment before we move. Feel the extension in the spine. And then taking your left wrist, your left hand to your right knee, keep the chin in line with the sternum. So try not to right away turn your head back. Keep the chin right in line with the sternum. Your right hand goes behind you, and then as you inhale, begin to lift the chest up, the spine gets taller, and exhale, you can twist from your thoracic spine. Coming back to the center, switch the cross of your legs, taking your right hand now to your left knee. And do the same thing. Keep the chin in line with the sternum first with your breastbone. And the crown of the head reaches up to the sky. Inhale, make the spine long, and exhale, twist. So the twist is happening in the upper back, the thoracic spine. Then bringing yourself back to the center and putting your blanket to the side, come up on all fours. Inhaling, reach the right leg up behind you. As you exhale, draw the right knee towards your chest and lightly step that right foot in between the hands so you come into a low lunge, letting that left hip just melt down towards the floor. And you can stay here and practice allowing the tailbone to go towards your left heel. You can lift the chest up to feel the opening in the chest, in the upper back, soften the shoulders. The jaws are soft. And then slowly begin to press your hips back so that maybe your hands can lift off the floor. Interlace your fingers behind your sacrum, behind your glutes. And as you engage the core, so you're not leaking energy from the belly, begin to lift the chest up towards the sky. Keep the chin integrated for now, and then allow your hips to melt down towards the floor. So make sure that the belly is integrated, the navel is pulling towards the spine, and then with that integration, then you can begin to lift the gaze up. Again, you're feeling a nice opening in the front of the shoulders, in the front of the chest. Inhale and exhale, releasing your hands all the way down to the earth. Taking your right leg back behind you. Inhale, lift the left leg up behind you. Exhale, draw the left knee towards your chest and step your left foot in between the hands. And first, you're starting in a nice low lunge. So let your hips melt down towards the floor. You can even shake your head side to side to make sure that you're releasing any tension from the back of the neck, from the jaws. And then slowly begin to shift your hips to your back heel so that you can lift your fingertips off the ground and lift the torso up. And as you inhale, lift the chest up. Pull the belly in, pull the navel towards the spine. Interlace your fingers behind you, and maybe you can interlace the other way. So there's always one way that feels kind of strange when you interlace your fingers. Try that this time. And then as you inhale, lift the chest up. The back of the neck is long, keeping the belly integrated. Then you can come forward as much as you like to. As you exhale, soften that right hip and open the chest and shoulders. And maybe if it doesn't hurt your neck, you can take your gaze up towards the sky. Make sure that nothing you do hurts. There should be no pain whatsoever anywhere. Then releasing your hands all the way down to the earth, taking your left leg back behind you, tuck your toes under, lifting your hips up to downward facing dog. So really bend your knees deep. If you bend your knees, you're taking the hamstring out of the pose, which means that you can really lift this sitting bones up to the sky. And gently begin to walk your feet towards your hand. Inhaling halfway up, sliding your hands all the way up your hamstring, and exhaling, fold forward. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Keep the knees bent, inhaling, sliding your hands all the way up the hamstring, exhaling, fold forward, Uttanasana, inhaling, the hands stay right on the back of your legs all the way to the hamstring, exhaling, fold forward. And this time as you inhale, come up to Ardha Uttanasana, bend your knees even deeper, and then reach your fingertips back behind you in airplane pose. Now lifting the left arm in front of you with the palms facing the midline of the body, and then switch sides. So left hand reaches back behind you as the right hand reaches front. And then the left hand reaches in front as the right hand, so switching sides. And each time make sure that the hand stays below the shoulder level. So try not to raise the hand above the shoulder level. Just keeping the arms, the integrity of the shoulders, and then slowly releasing the head all the way down, lifting your hips up to the sky, into Uttanasana, stepping your left foot back behind you. Walk your hands to the center, so you come into a wide-legged forward fold. Your heels are out, toes are in. Inhale, come halfway up. And as you exhale, begin to walk your fingertips over to the left foot. Taking your right hand to the outside of your left leg, the left ankle, your right hand on top of it. Bend your right knee deep, and then inhale, straighten the right knee. And as you pause here, bringing your sternum towards your left knee, begin to bend your left knee now, and then exhale, straighten the knee. So moving dynamically through this, bending the knee and straightening the knee, inhaling, bend the left knee, exhale, straighten the left knee. Just nice little opening to the hamstring. It's almost like you're knocking on the door and waiting for the door to open. It's kind of a nice movement, nice and slow. Walking your hands all the way over to the right. Your left hand comes to the outside of the right ankle. Your right hand comes on top of it. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, fold over your right leg. And then this time bend the left knee first and straighten the left knee. And then begin to bend the right knee deep. Inhale and exhale, straighten the right knee. And then stay on the right side. So bending the right knee, straighten the knee, bend it a little bit at a time, and straighten it. Really stay here and let the back of the neck be long, taking your sternum towards that right knee. And slowly begin to walk your hands back to the center and walk your hands away from the toes so you come into this wide-legged downward facing dog. Pressing your hands all the way down to the earth, pressing the earth away, bringing your forearms together as the triceps spiral out away from each other, elongating the back of the neck. The spine is long, the sitting bones reaching up to the sky. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly begin to walk your fingertips in between the legs, maybe reaching back behind you in between the legs. So shift your weight forward just a little bit and allow there to be space between the shoulders and the ears. Inhale and exhale, coming back to the center, walking your hands all the way over to the left. Come back into a lunge, taking your left leg back behind you into downward facing dog. And then walking your hands all the way to your toes, bringing your knees down to the earth. And you're going to sit on your heels for a moment. So if this is too difficult to stay here for too long, you can always sit on your blanket, putting the blanket in between the hips and the heels. Soften the shoulders, the chest is up, the back is long, back of the neck is long. Everything is soft. You're just creating a nice compression in the knees and a nice stretch in the front of the ankles. And then removing the blanket. I'm going to give you two different options. So we're going to come either into saddle pose or hero pose. The saddle pose, your big toes are going to be together. You're going to be sitting on your heels where the big toes are touching. Your knees are wide apart from each other. You can lean back just a little bit so you feel a nice stretch in the the quadriceps, the front of your thighs. If that feels good and you want to go farther, you can come down on your elbows. And if that feels good, you can come all the way down onto the floor. Your knees are going to be lifted off the ground. That's perfectly fine. Let the knees come up. So that's option one. That's saddle pose. If you like to do hero pose, you can spiral your calves away from away from your hamstring, and you're going to sit in between the heels. So not on your heels, but in between the heels. Please make sure that there's no pain in the knees whatsoever. The saddle pose is a little bit more accessible. If you like to try hero pose but you feel like there's too much compression in the knees, you can always sit on your blanket. So that raises the hips a little bit and gives you a little bit more room. But take care of the knees no matter what. So you sit in between the heels. You can stay on your hands if you like to, or lean back a little bit more so you go down on the elbows or the forearms, or maybe you like to go all the way down. And if you go all the way down, you can bring your arms overhead, maybe grabbing opposite elbows. And wherever you are, feel a nice stretch in your quadriceps, in the thigh muscles. And there should always be a little bit of, so this is a back bend, but you don't want too much compression on the lumbar spine, on your low back. So make sure that everything feels good if you're all the way down. Please don't tolerate any pain whatsoever. Let's stay here for just a couple more moments. See that you're breathing nice and deep into the belly, releasing the thighs down towards the earth, softening the jaws. There's no tension in your jaws or shoulders. Letting everything go. It's by releasing that we can actually let go of the tension, not resisting. And then we're slowly gonna come up out of this pose. So if you're all the way down, press yourself up onto your elbows first and then sit all the way up. Extend the legs straight out in front of you. You can massage the knees just a little bit, massage the ankles, rotate the ankles one way or another. Getting some blood flowing back into the legs and into the knees and all the joints and connective tissues. And then for one more pose, it's going to be a butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. But this is a little bit different version of it. So see that it's not a tight Baddha Konasana. It's actually, the heels are a little bit further away from the groin. You create a diamond shape with the legs, and you can even put your blanket on top of your feet. So you can rest your elbows on top of your blanket or bring your forehead down onto the blanket. Or you can just sit up, whatever is good for you. This is a really great way of finishing our back and shoulder release practice. So let the palms be open. Let your forehead rest on something. Unless you're sitting all the way up, make sure that there's something that you can rest your forehead on. And just breathe deep into this space behind the heart space. So that space right in between the shoulder blades. So we can send your breath right there to that space in between the shoulder blades, behind your heart. Inhaling and exhaling. In your next inhalation, you're going to slowly lift your torso all the way up. You can always use your blanket as a pillow and come down into a nice Shavasana, your final pose. So get really comfortable, make it the best Shavasana you've ever had. Let the heels sink into the ground, the toes are falling away from each other, the back of the knees are soft, the hips are soft, the shoulders are soft. There's no contraction, no tension whatsoever anywhere in your body. Close your eyes. Your forehead is smooth, eyes sinking into the sockets, tongue is heavy, and just rest. And slowly begin to deepen your breath. We're going to sit up in a brief meditation. So Gently begin to wake your body up, rolling to one side. With a strength in your top arm, press yourself to a comfortable seat. And again, use your blanket to sit tall. So sitting on your blanket, allowing the sitting bones to ground down. Whatever, however is comfortable with your legs, you can bring your legs into a half lotus or just cross your shins, palms are up. The back of the neck is long, the crown of the head reaching up to the sky. And for a moment, become aware of your heartbeat. Have the intention to hear your own heartbeat calmly and smoothly. According to the ancient traditions, we're surrounded by love and light. And our human body is just a single drop in this boundless ocean of wisdom and compassion. So imagine that you're surrounded by an infinite sea of healing, light, love, and compassion and nurturance. And you're surrounded by this vast sea all around you. And please bring your awareness to the space above your head, where you can access this limitless healing and love and wisdom. Feeling the presence of light, well-being, and contentment. As you remain completely relaxed, when your body breathes in, feel a stream of this boundless presence of light and love descend into the top of your head and all the way down to your chest, to your spiritual heart center. As you exhale, feel this love and light fill your heart. And do this repeatedly. With your each inhalation, feel this, your body fill up with this light and love and nurturance. And as you exhale, feel that it fills your heart. Without forcing your breath in any way, continue this practice. If you notice that your mind is wandering, just bring your awareness back to your breath. Each inhalation, feel light entering your body through the top of your head. And each exhalation, you feel the light expand in your heart space. And stay with this for just a few more moments. Inhaling love, light, nurturance. And exhaling, feel it expand in your heart space. Feeling all sadness, any negativity, any suffering lifting out of your heart, being replaced with this beautiful love, light, this infinite sea of healing and nurturance around you. You can stay here and meditate longer if you like to, but if you're ready to continue with the rest of your day, draw your chin to your chest Slowly begin to open your eyes. Putting your left hand on your heart center, putting your right hand on top of your left hand. Breathe into your heart, feeling contentment, rest, nurtured, wholeness, and complete joy. Namaste.